Nichole, welcome to Real Talk with Star Scorpio. How you doing today?
I am doing so well. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Thank you for coming out today. Um, you're from what I call a hit series on Netflix called Marriage or Mortgage.
I'll take
And
it. I like
yeah,
that title, a hit
take it,
series.
take it. And you're one half. I have to shout out your counterpart, so Sarah Miller as
Right.
well, right? So
Yeah.
Nichole Holmes and Sarah Miller. But before we get into that, because I like to ask a lot of questions about marriage or mortgage,
Yeah.
but I like to build a timeline. So I want to learn about my guest as well. So
Okay.
first, Nichole, where were you born and raised?
I am originally from Illinois. So, born and raised in Marion, Illinois, and went to college not far, just down the road from my hometown.
Mhm.
Got a communications degree, and then quickly moved to Nashville, Tennessee after my college graduation. About 6 months after, my first job was local at a radio station. I sold airtime and then would help produce the ads that I was selling. So that was fun. But my degree is in radio and TV, and I love being an on air host and talent and so much
Mhm.
fun. And I also love real estate. So marriage and mortgage was a perfect combining of the two.
Perfect fit.
Yeah.
Okay. So even going back before that, because I like to understand your experience when, and I know, I don't like age people, but if you think about high school and then college or university, so you already told me what you took, but what was your path? What did you want to do? Did you fall into the path, the career choice that you always wanted, or did you have something in mind differently when you were younger?
I did have something else different in mind. So I started off my college career as an elementary education major. I was going to be a school teacher.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
okay.
then I had the privilege of winning a beauty pageant. I won the Miss Illinois USA pageant
Mhm.
and competed at the Miss USA pageant in 1995, so
Yes.
long ago,
Mhm.
and got top three in most photogenic. So that actually changed the trajectory. When I entered back into college, I changed my major
Mhm.
into radio and television. So it was all of the media that I was able to do as Miss Illinois USA
Mhm.
that I was hooked. Like I loved all the TV interviews, I loved all the radio interviews, and just getting out there and meeting people. So that's when I changed my major to communications
Okay.
after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now I was gonna ask you about Miss USA. So you
Yeah.
represented Miss Illinois. I was gonna
Yeah.
ask about how was your experience? How did you even get into audition for it and then get selected for that?
Right. So there's all kinds of crazy named small local pageants that you do growing up, and or you have the ability to do if you want in small towns. I was Miss Big Lakes, which everyone thought I was saying big legs.
Yeah.
Not the case.
Mhm.
I was Miss Heron Festa Italiana, not Italian, but
Yeah.
I was their first winner that they had. Let's see what else. There was oh my gosh, Miss Mid South, all kinds of others. I had a niece who was once crowned Miss Sweet Corn and Watermelon.
Oh, wow.
So you get the picture.
Yes,
So it
yes.
was just a natural progression. Once I had done a few local pageants, I
Mhm.
really liked the competitiveness of it. I was active in sports. Believe it or not, I was kind of a tomboy growing up.
Oh,
And yep, so in school, in high school, I was on the dance team and on cross country and track and things like that. Softball, played softball every summer from
oh.
kindergarten to my senior year in high school. Um, so things like that, just the competitiveness started kicking in. And once I learned about a state pageant,
Mhm.
I was all in. I was like, sign me up. What do I need to do?
Yeah.
So yeah, and
Amazing.
I won on my first try. So that was great. Got to
Yeah.
go to Miss USA after one shot at Miss Illinois.
I seen the photo, beautiful photo.
Oh, thank you.
Who hosted at the time? Who was
So the Miss USA pageant was hosted by Bob Goen from
Mhm.
Entertainment Tonight. He was a
Yes.
host on Entertainment Tonight,
Mhm.
and Daisy Fuentes, who
That
had multiple hosting gigs at that time. I think she was currently on MTV at the time, hosting a
yeah.
show there, and had a clothing line out. I remember she had on these Chanel combat boots. I have never forgotten. I
Mhm.
never knew Chanel made combat boots until
Yeah.
I saw her come to rehearsals with a pair of Chanel combat boots on. I was like mesmerized.
Wow. So were you nervous though? So I still want to touch on this. Were you nervous at the time? Like, because it
You
was
know,
televised and everything. So
I
how'd you
just felt
feel?
like I just felt so solid in my path and that I was meant to be there and supposed to be there that, and my competitive drive was so strong that I
Yeah.
wasn't a nervous, not until I think probably once I made the top three
Okay.
and you're standing there with the two others who are, one of you is going to be crowned Miss USA,
Oh
and they
my
ask some
God.
questions on stage. That got a little nerve wracking. I'm not going to lie,
Mhm.
but and it was still when they had the soundproof booth.
Okay.
Don't do that
Okay.
in beauty pageants anymore. They just put either earphones on you or you all hear the question, depending
Yeah.
on the pageant system. But I mean, once I set my mind to something,
Mhm.
I'm doing it.
You're
And
going
there's
for
not
it.
a lot of nerves involved if I'm going about it the right way.
And
But I do try to listen to my intuition and things like that, that if
mhm.
something is amiss, if I am feeling nervous, I look inside, I'm like, okay, what is this? What's going on? What
Yeah.
am I not comfortable with?
Mhm.
Let's like suss this out and get relaxed about it.
Wait, so I like that you're touching on that. So is that innate in you? Because some people really have anxiety in it. Like I have a lot of anxiety.
Sure. Oh,
Because
don't
I
get me
didn't,
wrong. I have anxiety too.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's something that I was born with.
Mhm.
I think everybody has the ability to look inside
And tap into it. Yeah.
right, exactly,
Mhm.
and kind of center themselves, whatever that looks like to them.
Yeah.
Some people it's crystals and salt baths and things like that. Other people it's praying. Other people it's just meditation. I mean, whatever it is.
Yeah, you're right.
Just listen to yourself, listen to your body, and what's going on up
Yeah.
here and in here.
Yeah. Your
So
heart, your mind.
yeah,
All right.
absolutely.
But so let me know how tall you are with and without heels. And I know there's different size heels.
Hey, all right. I'm 5'7", flat footed.
Flat footed.
So
Okay.
then if I wear 4-inch heels, I'm 5'11"
Yeah.
ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Now, marriage or mortgage?
Marriage or mortgage.
Okay,
Yes.
so I gotta tell you something. So I we stopped watching Netflix for a while. Like when everything opened up again,
Yeah.
Netflix when COVID. So
Right.
2020, we were binge watching things. And then everything opened up. So we started going out a lot. But my daughter, who's 24,
Uh-huh.
she said, oh, you gotta watch what's it called again? Love is Blind and The Ultimatum. So my wife and I just binge watch it just for fun. And
Sure.
then we're scrolling through and I see Marriage or Mortgage. And I'm like, let's give it a chance. So from episode 1, I was hooked.
Yay.
So I really love the show. And
Good.
I'm
Well,
gonna let
thank
you
you for
explain,
watching.
but basically 10 episodes and
Yeah.
couples have a certain amount of money to invest in either a mortgage
Yeah.
or
Or
wedding.
waste it on a wedding.
What's it on the wedding? Now, what I want you to do is continue to explain for my viewers or
Yeah.
listeners what else is involved in the show.
Well, you nailed it pretty succinctly. So every couple, they don't have enough money to do both. Like they either have a lump sum of money, and sometimes it ranged from $20,000 to $40,000 or $50,000.
Okay.
And it's my job to convince them to invest it in real estate.
Yes.
And nothing wrong with having a wedding and getting married, but you can do that on a small budget. You can do it in the backyard of your new house or whatever.
Right.
But it was my job to try to convince them to put the money towards something that they could make them more money.
Okay.
Now, my counterpart, Sarah Miller, she's a wedding planner, and she tried to get them to. She would show them like how far she could make that money stretch
Right.
for a wedding budget and and the reception and things like that. So she would show them these elaborate flower arrangements, and she would liquor them up, which I think is very unfair. I can't really do that when I'm showing houses.
Yeah.
But she could do that, and it was part of her gig, right? Part of her thing. So you show them what the bar can do and the specialty drinks and all the fun things.
Right.
But it's a really fun premise. We didn't come up with it. The
Oh,
production company found us.
wait. So let me ask the question because this is what I want to know because you're already
Yeah.
getting into it. I like that. So I was going to say, how did the show's concept get developed? And then I thought you might have pitched it or Sarah might have pitched it or was co-pitched or whatever, but
Yeah,
there was creators then.
Right. There was a creator of it. It was her idea. And she pitched it to a production company, and they loved the idea. And then the production company started looking for people who could host this. They chose Nashville because, it's been the it city for a decade now, and it just keeps getting more popular. And so they chose the city. Then they set out looking for a real estate agent and a wedding planner. And eventually they came to us. And once they put Sarah and I together, we did a Zoom meeting like this with a production company. They videotaped it and then spliced together like a sizzle reel of like our funniest bits that we fed off each other really well. I knew of Sarah, but I wasn't like close to her. We'd never had a phone conversation. Come to find out, we had been at the same birthday parties and baby showers, and she lived. She was a neighbor of one of my good friends. She was currently planning my very best friend's wedding. I didn't even know. I knew that my best friend had a wedding planner, and we had just been to New York and picked out her wedding gown. And unbeknownst to me, Sarah was behind the scenes planning her wedding for her. So we just clicked immediately, and the production company loved what they saw. They pitched it to Netflix. Netflix bought it just off the sizzle reel alone. They didn't even normally, I've learned, I didn't know at the time, but I've learned that it's that's not normally how it goes down. They normally want to see a couple of episodes first and, but they just pitched it, they just bought it off of Sarah and I sitting there, playing off of each other. So it was a lot of fun. We loved every second of it. And we're fast friends, of course. So we're really good friends now, and we see each other as often as we can. But she's just coming off of wedding season, and I'm pretty sure she's out of the country right now on vacation. I've been looking at her Instagram. She's with her family celebrating the end of wedding season. She's been covered up. So,
Nice. So now I have a lot of questions about it. And here we go. So the first thing I want to know is, you hear the story. So the couples are sitting down with you, and I'm just talking about it from a viewer's perspective. I'm sure there's a lot of behind the scene things I don't see, but I'm talking about what I'm seeing. So the couple tells you the story, and by hearing what they're saying in their stage of life, are you inclined in your head? Are you thinking, they should go for the marriage? Or do you think, no, this is a mortgage couple. This is a mortgage couple.
I think all of them should have chosen mortgage.
I knew you were going to say that. You're going to say that.
I can see there were a few where I totally get where they're coming from. Specifically the lesbian couple, the young lesbian couple who, they hadn't, one of them hadn't been out very long. And so this was like really a big deal for her, as it should be, as it would be for anyone. But that one, I kind of had a hunch they were going to choose wedding. So, they just wanted to show people what was possible, especially being in the South and all of that. So I get that. But everybody, I still would have loved for them to have chosen house. They would have had so much equity in that home. That's what I'd like to do. I'd like to do a follow-up show. And to talk to everybody who chose a house or who chose a wedding. And said, here's how much equity you would have had in the home that I found for you. Now, how do you feel?
I like that.
Because the real estate market's been going crazy.
So I was going to even say that later on. I just want to touch on some questions about the show, but I don't know if you know, like, prices even in Canada where I am, because in Toronto.
I'm not familiar.
So I'll just ask you a question about that later. But the real estate market was booming for a long time. And it even still is here. Even to let you know, we bought our house. I'm 48, and we bought our house. Same age. 1973.
March of 74.
So I'm older than you. But we bought our house for like 189,000, and now it's over $1 million, probably. You know what I mean?
Amazing. Congrats.
So it's crazy.
And that sounds great, and it is. But if you sell high, you got to buy high. What are you going to do? Kind of thing. But anyway, it's still great that you've got that much equity into it.
Yeah, true. So now, when you take the couples out to see properties, how hard is it to find something in their budget and also meet their wish list? Because you hear people about, we want the big backyard, we want the game room, we want the helicopter landing pad on the roof. So give me some insight on that.
Right. Whether you're being filmed on camera for it or just doing it in my everyday job, it's always a game of hide and seek, I like to say, because, you've got to find just the right, I ask for their dream list, and then it boils down to, okay, what's most important? Because, you've got this champagne taste on a beer budget kind of thing.
Right.
So we've got to figure this out. So it's just boiling down, getting to know them. Sometimes you see a lot of houses and you figure out more what they don't want in a house than what they do want.
Yes.
So, a lot of times couples or individuals will just apologize. I'm so sorry that we didn't find it today. I'm like, look, this is my job. This is what I do. I mean, I go around and we try to figure this out. It's like putting together a jigsaw puzzle, right? You like this from this house. You like that from that house. You like the area code of this one. I mean, it just depends. It's a game to me. And that's one of the reasons why I like it. I like trying to figure out, okay, where is this person going to land? Here's what I think immediately from initially meeting them, like, oh, okay, they're going to like Spring Hill. They're going to like Franklin. They want to be close to downtown. They're going to love East Nashville. And then to figure out where we actually end up. And I would say about 90% of the time, I kind of hit the nail on the head with where we're going to end up. So that's just all part of the fun, part of the games that you get to play and figure it out. And sometimes you have clients that tell you one thing and they end up totally off in left field. Like that's so not what they were looking for.
Wow.
They want a cute little ranch house and they end up finding a tall skinny that they fall in love with very contemporary. And we're like, that is so not what you came in telling me that you wanted. But that's okay. That's part of it. Whatever makes them happy,
Yeah, because sometimes when you see a property, you fall in love with it. Just like how we fell in love with our house as soon as we walked in the front door.
Yes,
and we weren't even thinking like, oh, this location or anything like that. And in your mind, you have this different picture of what you wanted.
Right.
But you're right. But now, even on that, let me know, because as a viewer, when I'm watching, we can see when someone's not fond of a house, maybe because they're diary and they're talking about it, or you can see their faces. Yeah. But can you get a good sense when you're touring them from room to room that, okay, this is not.
Yeah. And it's always funny to see the personalities of your clients come out too, because some people will just nod and act like they love everything. And you know that they can't possibly be liking everything. So those are the ones that are harder to read. It's like, come on, be real. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I don't own these houses. Like, just tell me what you do and don't like about the house. And then you've got the ones that walk in and they're like, nope, this one's not it. Turn around. Or we just drive by and they're like, nope. And that's fine too. That's a lot. Saves a lot of time on both of our ends.
Right.
But yeah, it's just always so fun to figure out the personalities and to work with everybody that's that make up, this crazy world that we're in. Everyone's got a different personality and that's part of the fun.
Yeah, I like that. You have a good spirit on the show too. Well,
thank you.
And that's why I reached out to you. But now going back to what you're saying about, the market's booming right now and everything. How are house prices currently in Nashville? Because when I hear some of the listings, I try and do the conversion to Canadian dollars, because you could hear 300,000-400,000 in American, but that's like 6, 7, 8 in Canadian probably.
Okay.
But in Toronto, because the location, a lot of houses that wouldn't sell for $1 million back in the day, it's 3, 4 to 5, 600,000. Now they're over $1 million. Wow. So people start going on the outskirts, either north, south, east. But now those house prices they're at big amounts, like the 700,000-800,000. So how is it in Nashville right now?
It's the same thing. It's the same as you're describing. The perimeters of Nashville keep expanding because the more affordable houses are going to be the ones further away from the city.
Right.
Depending on which direction, depending on which county that you're in, and how good the school systems have a lot to do with it as well here in the States. But to your point, yes, things that were $400,000 a few years ago are double that now.
Yeah.
So it's depressing for first-time home buyers, especially who, and interest rates are going up right now.
Yep.
So what I'm seeing with housing prices in Nashville, they're certainly not going to slip backwards
Mhm.
I don't feel. I think that they may level off a little bit. I'm seeing them not be as outrageous as they were a year ago, and
Okay.
the percentage of them going up has slowed a little bit.
Mhm.
And houses are sitting on the market a teensy bit longer. So 2-3 months ago, a house that was, depending on the price range, it does. But if a house was 400,000 or 500,000
Mhm.
in Nashville 2 or 3 months ago, I mean, it's going to get bought up like that.
Wow.
People, multiple offers, sight unseen,
Mhm.
a lot of cash buyers.
Wow.
So yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, it's a lot of people coming from New York, coming from Illinois, coming from LA, California, moving in. There's
Mhm.
like a secret little bridge from, we like to say, from New York and California coming into
Yeah.
Tennessee, because not only is Nashville growing, business wise with all types of technology and healthcare, and of course the music industry,
Yes.
but there's the taxes are different, and you can get so much more bang for your buck here than you can in New York State or from California. So that's where a lot of, people from California are seeing $1 million house.
Mhm.
That's a 2 bed, 1 bath, in LA. And
Yeah.
$1 million house here is going to get you 5 bedrooms.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
and a little bit of a yard. So it's all perspective and where
Yeah.
you're coming from, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
So, but yes, a lot of people are having to go out further and further and further
Further.
away from the city.
Mhm.
And we're seeing that growth in those areas as well.
Yeah.
So,
Do you have we have a lot of condos here in Toronto, like
yeah,
condo city,
right.
but we have a lot of overseas investors and they rent
Sure.
out the condos or even the house. Do you have that there too?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've had a big condo boom in the last couple of years, specifically in like the downtown corridor.
Right.
So that's going big. We've got a lot of luxury hotels coming in now. We've got a Four Seasons being built. It's almost open, not quite open yet, but they've sold most of the. So not only are they a hotel, but they've got some homes as well that they sell.
Yeah.
Sold those through. Let's see what else we've got. I hear a Ritz is coming,
Mhm.
and just super high end boutique as well as big scale hotels
Yeah.
and condos, and you name it. I mean, everything. The crane, they say, like the construction crane is now
Yeah.
the state bird.
I know.
You see it in
Yeah.
the skies everywhere around the city.
Yeah, the Toronto skyline, when I'm on one of the highways called the Gardner Express, all you
Uh-huh.
see is cranes everywhere downtown.
Right.
But
Yeah.
but Nichole, going back to like bidding now, because I just want to get your insight on this too, because I did interview my friend Jason, who's a real estate agent here in Toronto.
Awesome.
But bidding wars, like it was getting crazy. Two questions I want to ask you. But first, sometimes people say bid high. So if someone was selling their house for, say, 700,000, you have to put it up. I don't know. You let me know. Like, do you say
Am
eight? Do you
I
just
representing the buyer or the seller? If I'm bringing it,
as a buyer?
okay. If I've got the buyer and it's listed at 700,
Yes.
I have to talk to my clients and find
Mhm.
out how badly they want it. If they want it badly enough to put an offer in on it, they must want it pretty badly.
Okay.
Then I will go to the listing agent and see how many people are interested,
Okay.
which may or may not be true. They may give me a real number. They may not give me a real number.
Okay.
But if they do, they will also have the opportunity to back it up with showing us the other, not the prices, but they have to prove that there are other offers on the table.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
the price will be blacked out, all the things, but just,
Mhm.
yes, I do actually have other offers on there. So, so they're not intentionally jacking up the price.
Right.
And then what has been winning lately, if it's not an all cash, the beauty of all cash is that you can close quicker
Mhm.
and there are less closing costs
Yes.
in that. So that's very appealing to a seller if they want to close fast. Some sellers, it doesn't matter if it's cash or not. Others, it matters.
Yes.
Got to find out if that's going into play. I'll find out just how many others, if I
Mhm.
can. If the listing agent will tell me, they don't have to,
Mhm.
but if they do, if they're kind enough that they do, then What's been winning bids is almost 30% over list.
Wow.
If you start a bidding war, it's 30% over. So you just try to make your contract as attractive as possible. Fewer contingencies, better terms, like whatever that means to the seller. So whatever's important. If the seller wants out in 2 weeks, you better have cash, because otherwise you're not going to get a conventional loan and it close in 2 weeks. There's just no way that paperwork can be done fast enough.
Right.
So it's all those little things like that that play a part. And that's why right now everyone wants to be a real estate agent.
I know.
It's so easy and so fun. Well, it's a compliment to me. Anytime I have had a client and they go and get the real estate license.
Yeah.
And then I don't see them in the real estate market in a couple of years. It's like, oh yeah, they thought I made it look easy and fun, which yay, good for me. I must be doing my job correctly.
Yeah.
But it is always funny to see people jump in and then think, oh yeah, this is a little tougher than I realized.
Yeah.
Because finding the house is fun. That's the fun part.
Of course. Yeah.
All the things that can go wrong between getting the contract and closing day that, takes the experience and knowing what to do.
So, how many houses have you shown to one individual or a couple? Because I remember a story Jason, my friend, told me, and he gets personable with his clients. You have to. Yeah. But he realized after like over 10 showings of property or whatever, he realized that she had some personal issues. Because he actually talks to his clients and gets to understand them. Sure. And then she was saying no every time, no, had a reason why. And then it ended up to be a lot of viewings. So do you have a high number that you've taken?
Yes. I mean, there have been people that I've worked with for over a year before they found their house. So really? You're seeing 30, 40, 50 properties over the span of a year. Sure.
Yeah.
And then there's others I've shown 3 properties to, and they know the minute they walk in, and it's great. So you just never know what you're going to get, which is one of the reasons why I like my job so much, is because if I had to go to work and sit at a desk all day,
yes,
that's not me.
That's not you.
Not my personality. I could not do it. No.
Okay. Now, so going back to the show now, you show the properties. Sarah shows the wedding venues and the different things that go along with the wedding. And you sit down and you're going over the choices and what they viewed. Do you have a sense? I believe the couples might know going in what they want to choose. Right. However, you throw in some bonuses. Yeah. Sarah throws in some bonuses. And she says, oh, you remember that wedding dress you seen for $20,000? I'm going to give it to you for $5,000. And you may see something. You remember that game room? It's all yours. And you bring down the cost or something like that.
Right.
But what is your sense when you see that couple? Do they get changed by the extra incentives?
Yeah, I think a few of them actually did. I really do. I think that they had their mindset on one way. And then once we come in and kind of do our highest and best offers at the end,
best offers,
that it may throw a monkey wrench in what they were thinking and then them switch. So it's part of it. And to be fair and to be honest, like, you don't normally get to do that. I'm not fighting with an everyday couple for them to choose something or another, so I don't have to do all of those extemporaneous things. It was just them I'm trying to win that, so I'm trying to win it. Get in there, do all I can to win it. But she came out spoiler alert, she came out the victor. She had more weddings than I did houses that sold, but that's all right.
Yeah. Wait a minute. So is season 2? I heard there's going to be a season 2. Is it filming now?
We have not heard about a season 2, which I'm thinking that is probably not a good thing. By now, I mean, it's been out a little over a year at this point. So I think we would have heard by now. Also, with the housing market the way it is, I mean, we are really low in inventory here in Nashville. And, what they could have gotten for $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 in 19 when we actually filmed. We filmed all that in the end of 2019. I mean, the housing prices, they're double what they were then. So it really wouldn't be much to look at as way of real estate is concerned. There just wouldn't be any pretty houses and, no real estate porn, as I like to call. I'd love to do a show where I, go into like million-dollar houses. I think people love to envision what it would be like, their dream house, and to see how the other half lives, so to speak. So I
Yeah.
think that would be a really fun show to do something like that. But
Oh,
so you'll never
that
know where I'll pop up. I've got
I
ideas.
yes, I have to see you back. I have to see you back.
I
For some
appreciate
reason, I guess the internet says something sometimes because I thought there was going to be a season 2. I was looking forward to it, but
we
yeah,
haven't heard yet. We would love to do it. We both
yeah,
would be on board, but
yeah,
it would be tough production wise right now with the limited inventory and
of
just
course,
logistically.
of
So
course. Yeah.
mhm.
So my sister-in-law Emily, she loved the show, and it's
Oh,
so
good.
funny when I posted the teaser that you were going to be on. A lot of friends and family members just, oh, you're having Nichole on the show, and I was like, yeah, Nikki, yeah, we go way back, yeah, yeah.
That's so
We
funny.
go way back.
People from my childhood call me Nikki, so that's really cute. You just threw that in. Yeah.
No, but they're excited, and she had a question. Um, did anyone change their mind after the show?
I mean, not that we're aware of.
Oh, okay,
Everybody went ahead and went through with their weddings or went through with the purchase of the
okay.
home.
Mhm.
I know one couple who purchased a house is no longer together,
Oh,
but he still got the house. He kept the house, and she moved back home, back east where she was from.
yeah.
That was Eli and Sarah. They were a sweet, sweet couple, and I'm still in touch with Sarah quite a bit. I haven't seen him around lately, but I stay in touch with Sarah.
Yeah.
Let's see. No, I mean everybody. I think one couple did put off their wedding for quite a while, but they eventually did go
Mhm.
ahead and get married.
Yeah.
But that had a lot to do with COVID and all
Oh,
of that
yeah.
nonsense that went on.
Yeah.
Oh, thank
I
goodness.
wait, so you know what? This is exciting talking to you, but I'm jumping all over the place.
That's
But
okay.
I want to make sure I don't lose this though.
Okay.
My friend also Jason's, he said when COVID hit, that was his best time in real estate. Was that the same for you?
Pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah. So you had your essential workers, and we
Yeah.
were real estate agents were still considered essential workers.
Right.
Yeah. So it looked very different showing a
Mhm.
house.
Mhm.
You would normally you go in, you unlock the door, you turn on all the lights, you just go through, open doors, everything. This was very different. There's, you know, wipes everywhere. There's
Yeah.
take your shoes off, do all the things, wear a mask,
Yeah.
obviously.
Mhm.
But you'd walk into a house and all the lights would already be on. Drawers and doors would already be open. So you had to touch as few things as possible. I
Wow.
mean, it was really like a whole different landscape than what it used to be like.
Right.
We've gotten back to more normalized, you know,
Yeah.
since everybody's doing better. But
Right.
um, yeah, so it was. Yeah, I still sold
You still
a
love.
lot
Yeah.
during that time. Sure
Nice.
did.
Nice. Okay, so back to the show now. What was I gonna say? You know what? You know what episode I like the best
Which?
is when the choice was mortgage, but it was a plot of land.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that was my favorite show
Oh good.
because it actually showed the house after
Yes.
like a follow-up. And I was like, oh,
Wasn't that
this is
fun?
amazing. This
I
is
know.
amazing.
She was really hard. I couldn't please her. I couldn't find anything that she liked.
Yes.
And so, I mean, honestly, that was the only way to go, was for her to build her own.
Mhm.
So, and it worked out great. She is so happy in that house. Oh my gosh, they love that house. And so I'm happy for them. It's great. And it worked out
Yeah.
really well.
So in your what's your most memorable show or couple that you can talk about
Oh gosh.
that really pulled your heartstrings or something?
Well, I'm a big fan of the firefighter, and that she was a cheerleader, a hockey cheerleader, and he proposed at the on the hockey on the ice,
Mhm.
and he's a firefighter, and Nick and Denise.
Okay.
Yeah, they have since, so they purchased a house on the show. I have been able to since sell that house and buy the next house for them. So they're
Mhm.
already on their second house. And they
Wow.
also referred, excuse me, they also referred me to her mother. And so I sold her mother's house.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's been great. That's what's so fun, is when you become friends with people, and you can't shop for houses with someone and
Yeah.
generally not become friends with them.
Yes.
I mean, it's pretty rare
Yeah.
that I don't stay in contact with someone that I've sold them a house, because you just get to know them and kind of fall in love with them as a couple or as an individual or whatever. You just get to know them really well. So they become friends.
Yes. Nice. Nice to hear.
Yeah.
So I want to know if you have advice for people though. First time home buyers, right?
Right.
Should you love, should you love what you're buying or sometimes settle? Because some people are in situations where they have to get out of their living situation.
Right.
They have a baby on the way or something else could be going on. But what do you think? What's your advice?
I think they should not look at it like it's going to be their forever home.
Okay.
It'll be their first home always, but it won't be their forever home always. Okay. So if it ends to a means, then I'd say go ahead and do it. I mean, real estate, there's never a bad time to buy real estate because you never know what's going to happen in the coming months. So, it's just, I've got to manage expectations, and there's no perfect house. Doesn't exist. Even if you build one, you think you want it one way and you live in it for a month and you're like, oh, should have done this different. So there's no perfect house. It's my job to let the couples know or the individual know that. If it's their very first house, it's fun to guide them and show them, what can be changed or what can't be changed and what's going to cost maybe a lot of money to switch out or what's an easy fix. Yes. So, no, I would encourage them to go ahead and make the jump and buy, even if you aren't like 100% in love with it, because it's not forever. And the way the market is right now, at least it's an investment for your money. You're going to make that money grow. So if you don't love it in a couple of years, sell it. You shouldn't have any trouble. Call me again. I'll sell it. I'll be happy to sell this one and find you the next one.
So true. So true.
Yeah. But a lot of times they don't have the luxury just because it has to fit within a budget. Right. So, it's not going to be everybody. Their first house is rarely the dream house.
Yeah. You're so right. You're so right. Okay, Nichole, what I do now at this point in the interview, I have two cards in my hand.
Okay.
And you're going to pick one. And I'm going to read out. You answer it.
Okay.
So you let me know the right hand or the left hand.
Okay. I'm going to go with the left hand.
All my guests go left. Let me see.
Really?
And it's the same one. I didn't mix it up. Okay. A lot of my guests go left though. Okay. Ready?
Yes.
What is one of the most memorable moments of your life?
Whoa. I think I have to say when I found out I was pregnant with my daughter.
Okay.
Yeah. It was something that that me and her dad desperately wanted, and we were trying, and I was on fertility drugs, and thank goodness, from the grace of God, first month that we tried, we got pregnant. So, yeah. So
because I read something, do you want to get into it too?
I don't mind.
Do you have challenges? Because I get all teary-eyed when I talk about this, but our daughter is hold on. Our daughter is a miracle baby, right?
Yeah.
And she was a premature child as well.
Yeah, mine too.
And then my wife, after my daughter was born, she had 2 ectopic pregnancies. Yeah. And then we couldn't have any more kids. And then, people always ask you, oh, are you going to give her a sibling and stuff? And you don't want to get into it a lot, but I thought I read something. So do you want to just touch on that?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, I had fertility issues. So I was married. I was married once before Aria's father, and we had a miscarriage in that marriage, and then in a year or two got divorced. So, but the reason I did have some weird, my uterus is shaped funny. We found out I had only one working ovary. So there was certainly challenges. I did have a surgery to help. They said I had a septum, like in the middle of your uterus. I don't know how medical you want to get here, but if your uterus is shaped like a little hot air balloon, then I had basically like a line down the center of it. So kind of 2 different sides.
Okay.
Had a surgery to remove that, but then got a divorce, and we weren't pursuing. I wasn't trying to get pregnant then. And I was 36 at that point. And so just came to the peace of mind that, okay, I may not have my own biological children, because I found that I thought that it would probably be very unlikely
Mhm.
that I would find someone, fall in love with them, marry them, have a baby within my time limit before my eggs all dry up and blow away.
Yeah.
So, so I had come to peace with, there's more than one way to have a family. And given that my age, I figured I would meet someone that had children. That would have been fine with me. If I never met someone, I could always adopt on my own, like whatever. I just was okay with that. And then I met Aria's dad, and he is 5 years younger than me, but kids were super important to him. And I was 40 when we met. So clock's ticking.
Yes.
So when he mentioned early on that kids were very important to him, I said, well, I mean, here's the issue that I had in the past. Don't know what it's like now. I mean, so we immediately went to the doctor, and she was like, yeah, we'll put you on, if you want to try this, given your history, we'll put you on Clomid, which makes a woman produce more eggs and has a greater chance of getting pregnant. And so that's what happened. And sure enough, first month we took a vacation, went to the Bahamas, took my Clomid, came home pregnant. Of course, didn't realize it, but we felt pretty confident that we were successful in our attempts.
Amazing.
So as it turns out, that whatever was going on, that thing in my uterus, it had either grown back or they didn't get it all. The fetus didn't have enough room to grow much bigger than she was at the 6-month mark. So the sonograms showed that, she could be in distress and things like that. So they put me on bed rest, and I had her at 32 weeks, like full 2 months early. I was in the hospital for 2 weeks on bed rest, and then just my water broke in the middle of the night. Wow. And so they did an emergency C-section, and she is very healthy. I mean, she's had a few minor setbacks, but for the most part, she's great.
Amazing.
She's so great. She had some developmental delays as far as muscle tone and crawling and walking and things like that. But as far as mentally, everything seems to be going great. And so we're just incredibly blessed. So she's my little miracle. You're talking about your daughter being your miracle. She's my little miracle too. So I get it. Amazing. She was in NICU for a couple of weeks. But she was 4 pounds, 11 ounces. How big was your little one when she was born?
I think it was 2, 3. Wow. Yeah. Incubator. Yep.
So tiny.
Emergency C-section, 2 months early. Supposed to be born in June. On my wife's birthday, actually, June 6th.
Oh, wow.
But April 14th. And you know what's nice about it? My mother was a nurse at Women's College Hospital here in Toronto. Okay. So we had the best care. Yes. She was retired at the time. But when my wife had to get down, because I believe she was toxic, like we went to a doctor's appointment, she came down crying. I was in the car waiting. Aww. Came down crying. I'm like, what's going on? We have to go to the hospital. So we went, and then they were saying, yeah, something's going to happen if we don't deliver. So yeah, it was emergency C-section, and very good care. I love to give a shout out to all the frontline workers, hospital staff. Oh my goodness. The people in the NICU were incredible. Yes. I look back on it now and I'm like, why wasn't I terrified? Why was I so confident that she was going to be fine? And I think it's because they took such good care of me, that they told me what to expect, because I was in the hospital for the 2 weeks prior to her delivery. They had, wheeled me up to the NICU just to see the sights and sounds and say, this is what's going to happen. And so that I felt like I was completely prepared when the time came, and they had to take her cesarean. So, I mean, shout out to everybody who does anything like that. Healthcare workers, holy cow. Yeah. But it's crazy how tiny they are too. So she was 2 pounds, 3 ounces. And then we had to wait. She was incubated until she gained weight to 5 pounds.
Yes.
And even still at 5 pounds, when we took her home, she was so tiny.
So tiny. Exactly. Yeah. I've kept some of the little sleepers. They're like this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. My daughter will put them on her dolls now. And I'm like, that's just unbelievable to me that you were just this big. You were so tiny.
I know. But amazing. Thanks for sharing that.
Of course.
One thing I also ask my guests, because I like to hear words of inspiration for myself and also for others if they listen. Do you have any words of inspiration for someone that's ready to give up on their dreams or their aspirations or their profession? You know, some people are on that brink and they want to just throw in the towel. And some of my guests have said some profound things. Do you have any advice for anyone?
Gosh, no pressure. I hope a profound something falls out of my mouth. I have always gone by the guidelines, do the best you can where you are with what you have. Also, I love Maya Angelou's when you know better, you do better. So, I mean, you kind of combine those two things. As you go through life, you learn more things, you do the best you've got with what you're given, and don't give up. I mean, how many inspirational stories have we heard of people that said, I was about to throw in the towel. I was about to stop chasing my dream. And then the next week they got their big break, and for whatever it was, whether it was a medical breakthrough, or whether it was a acting job or something like that put them on the map. So yeah, absolutely. Don't quit. Stay, I always like the pros and cons. I like to do that if I'm in a quandary about something, I'll write down my pros and cons list. And I mean, it's your dream for a reason. Like, the universe put it in your head for a reason. Like, just listen to that. Listen to that and let that kind of guide you and steer you.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what I do is donate to a charity after each episode.
How amazing.
Yes. And what I used to do, though, I used to have balloons for the first 3 seasons. I had 3 balloons with a charity of my choice. Something that impacted me, because I had, we all have people who passed away of cancer. But ALS, my first season, I had a good friend pass of ALS, and that is a horrible disease condition. So what I did is have them choose which one I want to pop, and I would donate to that charity. For season 4, you're my 4th guest. Now I'm saying, okay, is there something you want me to donate to? Whether it be a charity, a GoFundMe, anything like that. So
that's incredible that you do that. Thank you so much for doing that. I am specifically fond of the Alzheimer's Association. My mother is currently struggling with that, and my dad is her caregiver. And boy, the lessons I have learned just watching him go through that, and her go through that, obviously, in the last couple of years. So that is Alzheimer's. Let's see. Let me look at it's
the society, right? The right society.
Yep, Alzheimer's Society. Yes, exactly. .org. Yeah, alz.org.
I got it.
Oh, you are so kind to do that. Thank you.
All right. So Star Scorpio will be donating to Alzheimer's Society. I've actually donated to them first season, but great. The Canadian chapter. So Canadian, now I'm going to do American. Amazing. So Nichole, thank you for coming out today.
My pleasure.
This is
have me back anytime. I'd love to do it again anytime.
Oh, amazing. If you get that spin-off show, you're coming.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. But this is season 4, episode 4 of Real Talk with Star Scorpio, and we out.